The year 1191, King Richard of England was sailing to the Holy Land when a ferocious storm scattered his fleet.
After their successful releases of Crusades, Thy Kingdom Come, and King Arthur, the role-playing wargame, developer Neocore Games joined forces with strategy giant Paradox Interactive to create their latest title, Lionheart, King's Crusade. Using their Cortec 3D engine as they have in past titles, Neocore has created another action-packed real-time strategy game with trademark RPG elements. Lionheart King's Crusade takes place during the period of the Third Crusade from the years 1189 to 1192. It was called the King's Crusade because it involved the kings of England, France, and the Holy Roman Empire. Players will mostly play as the more famous of these figures, Richard the Lionheart of England, and lead the reconquest of the Holy Land from the Saracens, led by the Egyptian Sultan Saladin. In addition to playing as Richard, players will also be given the option of playing the Saracen Campaign as Saladin, providing for a more expanded experience with different unit types and attributes, including holy relics. As in the previous games, Lionheart features a similar style of gameplay where there is a large world map divided into different regions of control. Unlike Neocore's previous title, where you are given free reign to move armies about the map, the campaign is a lot more structured and gives players target provinces highlighted in red. This can be a disappointment to King Arthur fans, as this restriction prevents players from further exploring lands and experiencing a more in-depth campaign. Once the highlighted province is selected, players are taken to a briefing screen where they are given a short background on the objectives. If gamers play as Richard, players will notice that in addition to the missions from the Pope, there will be other Crusader factions that have their own sets of objectives, which they may choose to fulfill in order to gain their favor and cooperation.
Marked on your map, which shows the location of a Saracen siege.
Our spies inform us of a guest house for pilgrims, where many of our European allies now hide, unable to escape Jerusalem. We must save these...
Laudetur Jesus Christus. We strongly suggest assembling your siege weapons on the southern side. Then once we move...
The battle interface should be familiar to King Arthur veterans, and to a certain extent, to Total War fans. Players are brought to a 3D battlefield with their army starting within a fixed area. From there, gamers can reposition units into a formation suiting their strategies. However, there is a lack of in-depth formation templates for an entire army. This lack of hold formations may be particularly frustrating with large armies, as players will have to constantly reposition each unit prior to battles. However, when all else fails, the one formation offered, a long line, speeds up pre-battle planning. Throughout different points on the battlefield, there are several objective banners showing that players will have to capture. Combat is well executed in Lionheart. Using terrain effectively, knowing the strengths and weaknesses of your own units, as well as your enemies, and knowing how to make those elements work to your advantage, dictates victory or defeat. What is especially welcoming is the fact that the archers in this game are not ridiculously stacked as they were in King Arthur, where they were able to wipe out entire units in a matter of seconds. After the battle, depending on the province, players will receive a unique unit to recruit and a hefty sum of money, which can be used for recruitment and upgrades. The Saracen Campaign features a more academic approach to upgrades, symbolizing their united front against the Crusaders, ranging from leadership to combat upgrades. The lack of micromanaging cities can be particularly attractive to players who don't like to control taxation and trade in order to gain revenue. However, some may find this a little too streamlined, as it takes away the ability of developing infrastructure and cultivating an economy. Neocore brought back their unit experience point system, which allows players to upgrade their units, improving their attack, defense, armor, weapons, and reliability in battles. Players can add special powers, which increase combat effectiveness on the battlefield. Another feature is the ability to attach unique weapons, armor, and special potions, which can be gained from killing enemy units. There are various religious relics that offer bonuses and unique powers to your heroes. You may choose to sell these items, or offer them to the Pope to gain faith points and favor. There is a nice tutorial that gives a great introduction to the combat system for those players new to this type of real-time strategy game. And what would a real-time strategy game be without a free-for-all battle? The scenario selection allows players who want to jump into a random battle to select their preferred playing field and units and hop right into the action. Overall, Lionheart King's Crusade offers a nice balance between the tactical combat of an RTS with the RPG elements of skill managing and item collecting. The environments of each battlefield map are very detailed, with distinguishable terrain features. Even though the Total War series may dominate in this genre, the developers at Neocord do a fantastic job at crafting a grand-scale 3D strategy game. The graphics, especially at the unit level, look very detailed, with some wonderful touches put on the armor and weapons. Fans of King Arthur and medieval RTS games will not be disappointed. This game will inevitably occupy countless gamer hours.